Hello everyone. This video is going to provide you with some information regarding the grade contract so that way you can understand the way that assessment is going to work for the course. Should you have any questions after viewing this video and reading the content, please feel free to email me and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. First, it's important to understand that the grade contract will be negotiated, which means that you will have an opportunity to contribute your thoughts, suggestions for changes, or perhaps maybe just encouraging keeping it the way that it is, and any ideas that you might have regarding the grade contract and how you might feel that it should shift according to the construct of the class. So when you have the opportunity to negotiate this contract, you will be going to the discussion section, and there you'll be able to include your ideas, any beliefs you have about it, any suggestions for changes. And what we will do is then review the information together and then make a final decision on how we want the grade contract to look. So let me explain the grading contract for a moment. Now, first you will see an example from a previous class. This was when we had a face-to-face course. So because of COVID and moving to the online platform, you're going to go ahead and ignore the number of absences. So those will not be taken into consideration for this particular class. Nevertheless, for the remaining columns here, you'll notice that there is a column for late assignments, a column for missed assignments, and a column for ignored assignments. Before I get into the definitions and what this all looks like and means in relation to the grade system here, I want to talk a little bit about why I do this and understanding the connection to what it means for assessment, and especially what it means for assessment and writing. Typically, in a traditional grade system, there are grades that are assigned to every single assignment that you have. You will have roughly about 20 or so assignments that you'll have to do. Now, not all the assignments are going to be the same. Yes, of course, you will have your essays as you see there, but under the other assignments category, there'll be a variety of types of writing that are going to demonstrate responses to readings, opportunities for critical thinking and writing out your ideas, and all are designed to help motivate you to develop topics for writing for your essays, but more importantly, just for being able to have the opportunities to practice your writing. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to writing, a lot of times motivation is connected to this. In other words, we tend to be very we tend to be very hard on ourselves, and it's difficult for us to maintain positive motivation for writing when our grades sort of reflect, needing to play catch up, if you will. We all have different experiences coming into this college class, which means that what your experience will look like is going to be completely different than somebody else's. In other words, for some people who are stronger writers, and have developed their writing skills over the course of, let's say, high school or whatever other writing experiences you might have, you may not need to watch videos over and over again. You may not need to completely read the PowerPoints entirely. Whatever the case is, you have stronger writing, and for you, your writing experiences might be a little less strenuous than others. So with that being said, though, on the other end of the spectrum, if you have any other challenges that you face with writing, difficulties that you might have, which may take a little longer for you, the benefit for this is that if your writing isn't strong at the very beginning, you still have the opportunity to receive an A at the end of the course. It would just mean that you will have more opportunities to revise and sort of address some of the weaknesses in your writing without penalty. So by not including the grades here, the road to the end, or for many people, road to receive an A for the course, for some it might be easier, and others it might entail just writing more, but nevertheless you will have the opportunities to write and still maintain that A should you do what you need to do for the class. So in a sense, this course is kind of tailored to you. In other words, you're in control. The real way to fail in this class is if you really just don't do anything at all. So my feedback is going to guide you individually for the specific topics you choose, the kind of writing you do, and I will guide you all individually on how to develop your writing uniquely to your skill set without any penalty for grades. So really, in a sense, penalties only really exist if you actually don't do anything at all. So, and which makes logical sense, of course. So the grading is not really so much about your writing ability as it is of just trying to maintain some sense of organization and structure as we engage in the course throughout this semester, okay? Now, we do need a grade by the end of the semester, naturally, and of course we have to abide by the school's policy. So what we devised here is a way to sort of address that. And so going back to the late, missed, and ignored assignments, I have a breakdown and definition for each one. So you'll notice that a late assignment is an assignment that is submitted up to 2 days past the up to 2 days, from the original due date. So that is if you have an assignment that's due and you don't turn it in on time when you're supposed to, you will have 2 full days to complete that. It will still be marked as complete, but we'll note there will be a notation that it is also marked late at the same time. The next one is the missed assignment, so same thing. You'll still turn in the work. It will be marked as complete, but will be noted as missed. This means that you have up to the week from the original due date past the 2-day mark to get it in. So really it just adds a couple of days for you to get the assignment in. For the ignored assignment, this is not a completed assignment. This is an assignment that never gets submitted. You never revised it or resubmitted it, or your attempt to try to turn it in past the week mark. Those will get ignored, and you will not have the opportunity at any point in the semester to ever turn that in. So you can see it against the chart that those numbers are relatively lower, so as to, of course, encourage you to get your assignments in. So what you'll see here is an example of how that might look. So let's say you have the original due date of Monday, August 24th. If you turn it in past the 24th time, it is now August 25th, which would mean then that you have from August 25th to August 26th by end of day to get the assignment in to be considered complete, but marked as late. For a missed mark, let's say it's past the 26th, so you will then have until the 27th through the 31st. You'll notice that it will be a week from this original due date, naturally, and so you could still get this marked as complete, but of course it will be noted as missed. If you attempt to submit an assignment past the 31st in this series here, it would be marked as ignored, not be taken and accepted, so it will be considered, like a traditional grade system, like a 0. Keep in mind that there are no percentages, no grade numbers or anything like that. So the way to monitor your quote grades is by check marks or X's. So if you have a check mark next to the assignment, you will always receive feedback. That means that the assignment is completed. There's nothing more that you need to do, and you can move on to the next assignment when it's due. There is no penalty, by the way, if you have to make a revision. That is, you turn in your assignment, within any one of these categories, okay? No matter what, even if it's late or missed, you'll still have an opportunity to revise if it doesn't meet the expectations. And at that point, just keep in mind that it'll still be marked as late or missed. Now, if you have one that is under you turned it in on time, there is no penalty. You will have a week to revise, and I will provide you with a new due date, and you will need to keep track of that due date. If you go past the due date, then all this starts all over again, okay? So really, the easiest way to do this is get your assignments in. Remember that even if you feel like it's, not your best work, you're not sure about it, there is no fear of the bad grade at that point, as long as you've done the minimum amount and that you've put some effort in, you will have the opportunity to revise. Keep in mind, it's very easy to fall behind. While this system is a nice system, where you don't have to really worry about grades, the aspects you do have to worry about is keeping up. Okay, so there is a lot of writing. This is a writing intensive course, so it shouldn't come to you as a surprise that you will have things due pretty frequently. So while you will have the opportunity to make changes to assignments, keep in mind that the class is still going, which means you will have other assignments in addition to having to do that. So the best way to approach this is to try to do your best the first time around. It just makes things a lot easier, but also knowing that you sort of have that net there, that in the instance that it's not your strongest work, there is no penalty and you have the opportunity to make it the strongest version of itself. Okay. Now, as I said before, you'll have the opportunity to make any changes, really think about some of these numbers, and again, think into the fact that this is an online course. It shouldn't really change too much as far as writing is concerned, but what would be reasonable in the instance of the number of assignments you have. So you want to review that, kinds of assignments that you have, the schedule, all of this. So as a reminder, absences are not considered in here. So when you are ready to negotiate or provide your insight or feedback to this grade contract, you can examine these here. If there's something new that doesn't already exist, I'm also interested in that. This grade contract has evolved over the years, so it didn't originally start this way. So if there's a new perspective or insight that you have about this, feel free to contribute to that, and I'll be happy to explore that idea with you. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to get back to you.